Have you ever used AI as a therapist? You should probably stop. I frequently hear people tell me they use Claude, ChatGPT, or some other AI as their therapist. And sometimes it might give you some good advice, but there's some real dangers here. There's a study out of Brown University that's literally titled How LLM Counselors Violate Ethical Standards in Mental Health Practice. And if that sounds bad, it's because it is. Researchers identified 15 different ethical violations and grouped them into a few major categories. One of the biggest was something called deceptive empathy. Basically, the AI would say things like, "I understand, I see you, I'm here for you." And that, of course, sounds comforting. It sounds emotionally real. But the researchers argue, and I agree, that there's something fundamentally deceptive happening here. AI does not really understand you. It doesn't feel concern. It doesn't have emotional awareness. It has no human attachment. It has no subjective experience. It's an algorithm that's good at predicting emotionally convincing language. And this is concerning because as people, we are wired to emotionally attach to things that sound caring and responsive, especially when we're lonely or depressed or anxious or otherwise emotionally vulnerable. The paper also talks about something called a pseudo-therapeutic alliance, which is the idea that talking with a chatbot, it can start to feel emotionally intimate very quickly. It might even self-disclose, mirror the user's language, constantly validate them, and create a feeling of a deep emotional relationship. But unlike real therapy, there's no accountability. There's no judgment, there's no ethical reasoning, there's no solid clinical formulation, there's no genuine human understanding underneath any of it. The researchers were also concerned about what they called poor therapeutic collaboration, meaning that AIs can often become very talkative and lectury. They can push advice on people too quickly. They don't really leave room for self-reflection, self-discovery. And this tracks with what I've seen from these systems. They often sound less like a therapist and more like an extremely confident Reddit post or something. But the researchers argue, and I agree, that there's something fundamentally deceptive happening here. AI does not really understand you. It doesn't feel concern. It doesn't have emotional awareness. It has no human attachment. It has no subjective experience. It's an algorithm that's good at predicting emotionally convincing language. And this is concerning because as people, we are wired to emotionally attach to things that sound caring and responsive. Another major issue was over-validation, where these chatbots would frequently reinforce distorted beliefs or unhealthy thinking patterns because they're designed to be agreeable and emotionally affirming. This, of course, becomes risky in a lot of contexts, but especially with something like paranoia, relationship conflict, substance abuse, trauma, psychosis, and any other things that are going to need some solid reality testing. Similarly as important were the crisis management concerns. In some situations, the AI gave inconsistent responses to suicidality or self-harm. In other situations, it disengaged completely or just would fail to recognize the limits of its own competence. This is one of the places where I think people really misunderstand psychotherapy. Good psychotherapy is not just empathizing and validating someone. Good psychotherapy usually involves challenging. It involves setting boundaries, carefully timing your interventions, sitting with uncertainty, having an actual person to hold and to reflect back what someone's going through. You need someone with expertise to know when reassurance can be helpful and when reassurance just feeds the problem. It can just enable someone or just make it worse. These LLMs are sometimes pretty good at sounding therapeutic and giving advice. But please remember, it's not the same thing as doing psychotherapy. And to be clear, I still think that AI might be useful in mental health, in psychoeducation, in skills coaching, helping people organize their thoughts before therapy. But this paper raises significant concerns about replacing real-life trained clinicians with algorithms that can kind of understand some stuff and sound emotionally convincing. It's not the same thing, and we really should not conflate the two.